ARMY is mesmerized. Taehyung's perfect performance at BTS ARIRANG concert, his aura feels different. Hello ARMY, welcome back to the channel. Once again, don't scroll away just yet. Because the deeper we go into this story, the more it feels like what happened on the ARIRANG stage that night wasn't something ordinary. This isn't just about music. This isn't just about performance. This is about a moment that somehow felt alive. Imagine that atmosphere again. The lights slowly dim. The crowd that was once loud turns into a soft wave of anticipation. There's an energy hanging in the air, as if everyone knows something is about to happen. And then he appears. Kim Taehyung. Not in a loud way. Not in a way that forces attention. But somehow, because of that, every eye turns to him instantly. There's a strange silence that forms, as if the world around him chooses to slow down. And at that exact moment, something shifts. Not on the stage, but inside everyone watching. The way he stands, calm, grounded, as if there's nothing he needs to prove. And maybe there isn't. Because from the very beginning, he carries something that can't be manufactured. An aura. Not the kind that feels overwhelming or intimidating. But something deeper. Something that doesn't try to be seen, yet is undeniably felt. And the longer you watch, the harder it becomes to look away. When the music begins, Taehyung doesn't immediately perform. He enters. He steps into the song, as if every note isn't just heard, but fully lived. His movements are slow, unrushed, as if he allows every second to have meaning. And that's where the difference becomes clear. Many performances feel perfect because of training, because of technique, because of control. But Taehyung's performance that night felt perfect because of honesty. Because he wasn't trying to become something. He was simply present. There's one moment that if you pay close attention, when the camera captures him from the side, you can notice a small detail that most people miss. His breathing. Slightly deeper. Slightly slower. As if he's completely in sync with a rhythm, not just from the music, but from within himself. And in that moment, we're not just watching an idol on stage. We're watching someone feeling something real. And somehow, that feeling reaches us. This is what makes ARMY fall silent. Not because they aren't impressed, but because they're too connected. Because some moments don't need loud reactions. They just need to be felt. There's another detail that strengthens everything. Taehyung's gaze. At a glance, it seems simple. But if you look a little longer, there are layers of emotion within it. Not something obvious like happiness or sadness, but something more complex. Like memories. Like longing. Like a story that was never spoken. And when the camera captures that, many people feel as if they are being seen. Not just as part of the audience, but as an individual. And a connection like that is rare. Especially on a stage that big. Time passes. Song after song. Yet strangely, not a single moment feels empty. Even during transitions, Taehyung holds onto that feeling. The feeling that keeps everything whole. There's a subtle moment, but incredibly powerful. When the music pauses, just for a fraction of a second. And in that pause, Taehyung doesn't move. He doesn't try to fill the silence. He lets it exist. And because of that, the moment feels fuller than the louder parts. This isn't something easily learned. This isn't just stage technique. This is sensitivity. The ability to know when to move and when to be still. And Taehyung masters that in the most natural way. As the performance nears its end, the emotion deepens. Not because of a dramatic escalation, but because of the accumulation of all the small details before it. Like a wave slowly building, without us even realizing. And when it finally reaches its peak, there's no explosion, no overwhelming climax, just fullness. And that's what makes it unforgettable. When the performance ends, not everyone cheers immediately. There's a pause. A few seconds that feel incredibly long. As if everyone needs time to return to reality. And that's when you realize, this wasn't just entertainment. This was an emotional experience. Something that touched without physically touching. And after that, the reactions begin to appear. But not just loud screams or simple praise. Many people feel confused. Not in a bad way, but in a way where they struggle to explain what they felt. Because not everything can be put into words. Some things can only be felt. And Taehyung's performance that night was one of them. As the clips start spreading, people watch them over and over again. Not to find flaws, not to analyze technique, but to feel it again. To try and understand what really happened in that moment. And the more you watch, the more you realize the answer isn't in what's visible, but in what isn't. The energy, the silence, the honesty. Things that can't be fully captured by a camera, yet still reach the heart. And maybe that's why so many people say Taehyung's aura is different. Because he doesn't just fill the stage. He brings it to life. Without being the loudest. Without trying to stand out. He simply becomes the most felt. And in a world full of things designed to look perfect, something that feels real will always be more powerful. So ARMY, be honest with yourself. When you watched that performance, what did you really feel? Was it admiration? Or something deeper that you can't quite explain? Because maybe that's the point of it all. That the best performances aren't the ones that dominate headlines or fill timelines with endless noise, but the ones that linger quietly, long after the lights have dimmed, long after the stage has been emptied, long after everyone has gone home. The ones that stay, not just in your memory, but in your heart. The kind you don't immediately talk about. Because somehow, words feel insufficient. You just feel it. And even days later, in the middle of ordinary moments, it comes back. A look, a note, a silence. And suddenly, you're there again. And Taehyung, that night, did exactly that. He didn't chase attention. He didn't need to prove anything. He simply existed in the moment. Completely, honestly, and without force. And somehow, that was more powerful than anything else. Because what he gave wasn't just a performance. It was something quieter. Something deeper. Something that stays.